Hi, my name's Bill Taylor. I'm the executive director of Philly.fyi. I personally applied for permits roughly 6 months ago. I was approved for a number of permits throughout Philadelphia for the DNC. Currently, we have Sunday the 24th through the 28th at FDR Park, zones 1 through 4. We have 1401 JFK for the 24th on Sunday. We did have the 26th, but currently we have the Burning Your Bus movement in the East Coast Cannabis Coalition. They'll be holding events there for that day. We also have 420 Chestnut Street for the 25th and was just approved for the rest of the week. One of the things that we believe in is sharing's caring, so we're reaching out to local grassroots right now to add them onto the permits. This way they can host their own events, because we want really everybody should be a part of this process.
Are there any other organizations in specific that are working with you?
What's going on in Philadelphia is kind of a beautiful thing. The DNC Action Committee has done something that's really impressive, which is solidarity amongst the local grassroots. We're using the image of the fist to show that solidarity. As far as the permits go, we're reaching out to everyone. The only thing that we ask is that you sign the peace pledge. We're just not trying to have two organizations on the same issues going on different days. We really want diversity. We want to spotlight all the issues.
Now, there's been some talk about certain security parameters going up around the city of Philadelphia during the time of the DNC. Does that concern any of the organizers or any of the groups that there could possibly be some infringement on certain rights?
Well, first, I guess anytime the city or the federal government does anything, we're always curious and definitely want to find out exactly what's going on. To hope, pray for the best, plan for the worst. That's what we always do, just so we're properly prepared. I think what you're referring to is the wall that's being built around the DNC, but you have to think half of our government's going to be in that building. Would you expect anything less for them not to fence that off? Think about another government, even in a third world country. You would expect if half their government was in a building, they're going to caution it off.
Now, kind of personal question, what does the march mean to you? Outside of organizing, outside of all of this, what does it mean to you?
Everything. It means putting my life on the line. It means risking my business, my family, everything I worked for my entire life, to see better days, not only for my kids, but everyone's kids. We've been given breadcrumbs. We deserve, we used to get a slice of bread, now they're tossing us crumbs. We deserve the loaf. There's no reason we don't, shouldn't have that loaf of bread. So, I'm willing to really risk it all just to see some sort of actual change.
Do you think it's the idea behind the march? Do you think that's something that will resound with most Americans?
If I didn't, I wouldn't be doing everything that I'm doing.
If you want to get into specific estimates, but how many people are you expecting at the events?
Currently 100,000 to 250,000, but that's amongst all the organizations as a collective, as a whole. We do have the possibility of 1 million, so planning wise, we are planning on 1 million.
Do you see the country heading in the direction that Sanders has envisioned, or do you see it going in another direction, possibly towards what Clinton's envisioning, maybe what Donald Trump is envisioning?
That's a good question. That's why I'm all or nothing. You're talking about, in general, they're suppressing our vote. That's suppressing our voice. They're trying to silence us. They don't want us to gather in masses. They don't want us to be heard. I've always been a political activist, never at this level. I see a lot more, and I know a lot more than I did before. If we don't have change now, it can get a lot worse. As far as the militarization of the police force, we don't have police. We have armies. It's neither going to get better or it's going to get worse. This, to me, is the turning point. All the corruption that's happened throughout this race, if we don't do something now, do you think they're not going to improve what they've been doing for next time? It's going to be 10 times worse. We're going to have even less of a voice. Now's the time to stand up. Bernie has woken the masses on such a large scale. Now's the time to act.
Do you think the Democratic Party uh, will move at all, will budge at all, maybe concede and take one or two of Sanders' ideas on their platform? Where do you see the Democratic Party going?
My opinion on the Democratic Party, I know you said we can curse earlier, so they're taking a shit on us. They don't care. They've proven throughout this entire race with voter suppression and election fraud that's happened. They got to earn our respect back because they lost that.
Is there any reconciliation for the Democratic Party at this point?
Yeah, give Bernie the ticket, adapt his ideas, prove to us in the next year or two that you're good, follow through with your promises.
What happens if the Democratic Party nominates Hillary Clinton, doesn't comply with adopting any of Bernie Sanders' platform ideas on things like the minimum wage, public education, healthcare, fracking, or corporate regulation? What happens then?
We organize a massive deregistration from the Democratic Party, and we teach them a lesson. Not only do we teach the Democrats, we teach every party the lesson, that we the people have the power. Where our power lies is in our registration. The parties only has power in the amount of members that are within that party. So if we organize a massive deregistration, ultimately we take the power from the party. And at this point in time, it doesn't matter if you register Green, register Republican, you can still vote for whoever you want. So even the folks that aren't Bernie or bust, that are still going to vote for the demon because they're using the fear tactic of, the devil Trump, you can still deregister with the Democratic Party and vote for the demon Hillary. But the time is now. We need to teach them a lesson. And by teaching them a lesson, essentially we teach all parties a lesson, that we, the people, have the power.
I want to ask you something. I was actually watching the interview you did with the same progressive, and you used the demon term before. Do you think that's off-putting to some Democratic voters? People that you could bring in, possibly people that maybe are thinking Hillary or Bernie? Do you think that alienates anybody?
I do not. To each their own. I'm going to give an example. Let's use the word love. My definition of love may differ from yours. Now, of course, my opinion on Hillary is very, one-sided, but that's because I've done extensive research. I feel as though the people that are still in support of Hillary they truly don't know who she is. And when someone tries to give them a piece of information about what she's done, who she is, they say that's a Republican tactic. That's a Republican strategy. And they push it off. They choose to ignore it. I mean, I understand a lot of people aren't as passionate into politics as many of us millennials have become. And they rather just not worry about it or whatever the reason may be. But if you knew the true Hillary, you would not vote for her either.
Do you think part of why the millennials specifically are seeing these things in Hillary Clinton is because they have access? In my opinion, I'm going to put personal opinion out there. We have personal access to things like YouTube. We can go back to footage. We can see the facts. We don't even have to read the facts nowadays. We can see the facts.
Right.
All right, my last question. Many people won't vote for Clinton nor Trump. Where does the vote ultimately go in November?
That's easy. I'm only speaking for myself on this one, but when it comes to deregistering, at this point in time, it doesn't matter what party you go to, you can still vote for who you want. But to send that energy into one direction and actually, have it do good, is the Green Party. They're in a position where, a slight power shift would really bump them up as a major party to fight this two-party system that we currently have. Not only that, Jill Stein has extended a hand out to Bernie and offered Bernie a seat with her. So there's more than one way to having Bernie placed into power outside of the Democratic Party. That's through the Green Party.
Is there anything else you want to add? Any closing statements?
Absolutely. This is the people's revolution. We don't have big campaign money. Even Bernie, he, average contribution was $27, but he was able to bring in $10 million a month. It's really we, the people in Philadelphia. We would greatly appreciate any and all help. If not even financially, you can go to our webpage, www.philly.fyi. That's not a .com, it's a .fyi. Go to how to help. You're going to see things on there that, this is for the participants of these events. Medical supplies, toilet paper, tents, toothbrushes. You're going to see a list. So even if you can contribute, heck, a roll of toilet paper, every little thing helps. If we want a political revolution, we the people have to rise up together. Money talks, so we must gather in the streets and speak louder. And that's the goal. I know a lot of us are literally pumping every dime we have into it. We have bills, almost utility bills about to get shut off, and rent 3 months too. But anything anybody can help out with would be greatly appreciated.
All right, man. Thanks, man.
I think with what's going on at FDR Park, we're really trying to shine a light on the grassroots. Bernie had a speech about the working class, being politically engaged, and now, first week over 7,000 have applied for some sort of political position. So we really want to shine a spotlight on the grassroots, and in this process, no voice, regardless of how large or small the voice is, they should be heard. No voice should be silenced. This is what we're fighting. They basically suppressed our vote. They're suppressing our voice. They're trying to make us voiceless. So that's really what FDR Park is about.